I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2014. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry met today with Palestinian negotiators in Washington. State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki said Kerry and the PA officials, which include Chief Negotiator Saeb Erekat, would talk about a range of issues, including those long-term ones that remain unresolved between Israel and the Palestinians. Kerry spoke earlier today over the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, reportedly addressing, among other issues, U.S. concerns following Israel's recently announced settlement building. And staying with the Secretary of State, Kerry took part in a roundtable meeting with Jewish leaders in Washington yesterday on the increase in anti-Semitism across the globe. Kerry met with leaders from the U.S. and Europe, where he, quote, reiterated the U.S. government's deep concern about the prevalence and pervasiveness of anti-Semitic threats and attacks against Jewish individuals, houses of worship, and businesses during the past few months. The discussion was hosted by Assistant Secretary of State for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, Tom Milanowski, and Special Envoy to Monitor and Combat Anti-Semitism, Ira Foreman. Jewish organizations here in the U.S. are expressing their grief and horror over the death of American Jewish journalist Steven Sotloff. Sotloff was beheaded by the Islamic State, or ISIS, shown in a video released yesterday that was proven to be authentic. As you may have seen on IBA News, it emerged after the video release that not only was Sotloff Jewish, he was in fact also a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen, having made Aliyah to Israel about 10 years ago. President of the Union for Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, said the murder of Sotloff and of fellow journalist James Foley just a few weeks ago by ISIS demands not only condemnation by the international community, but action to ensure the terror group is defeated. Simon Wiesenthal Center founder and Dean Rabbi Marvin Heyer said Sotloff's brutal murder provides more horrific proof that the evil of ISIS and its ilk can only be defeated by force, adding there's no negotiating with terrorists who behead and slaughter innocents in the name of a religion. And President of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, Rabbi Steve Gutto, said the horrors of violent religious extremism cannot be ignored nor tolerated, adding, we call on the U.S. and the family of nations to stop ISIS in its tracks. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres will reportedly meet with Pope Francis at the Vatican tomorrow. The Jerusalem Post reports that Peres will discuss with the pontiff, among other issues, the current situation in Israel with respect to the recent conflict with Hamas, the threat of terror in the region, and prospects for peace. Peres last saw the pontiff in June when he attended a joint prayer service for peace with PA President Mahmoud Abbas. The mayor of Thessaloniki, Greece, took a stand against anti-Semitism in his country. According to a local Greek paper, Yanis Boutaris was sworn into his second mayoral term last week wearing a yellow Star of David as a gesture of solidarity with the Jewish community in the city and in protest of the far-right neo-Nazi Golden Dawn Party in Greece, two of its members whom now sit on the municipal council there. The Central Board of Jewish Communities in Greece expressed their gratitude for the support, telling the mayor, your gesture sends a strong and clear message to those nostalgic for Nazism and fascism, that under your leadership, your city will continue to fight against any phenomena of racism, intolerance, and anti-Semitism. Former CEO and Executive Vice President of the UJA Federation of New York, John Risquet, will be joining the Jewish People Policy Institute, or JPPI, as a senior fellow. Risquet served at UJA for 15 years, turning the post over to his successor, Eric Goldstein, at the end of June. Risquet said he was honored to join the JPPI, saying the challenges facing the Jewish people are prodigious, and JPPI has emerged as one of the most important centers where research is undertaken and policy recommendations developed. The JPPI, which is located in Jerusalem, is an independent professional policy planning think tank whose mission it is to, quote, ensure the thriving of the Jewish people and the Jewish civilization by engaging in professional, strategic thinking and planning on issues of primary concern to world Jewry. And former House Majority Leader Eric Cantor is taking up a new role as well. Cantor is joining Wall Street investment bank Moelis & Company as its vice chairman and managing director. Cantor was the most senior Jewish lawmaker in U.S. history and the only Jewish Republican in Congress. He was defeated by Tea Party favorite David Brat in the primary this past June and stepped down from his position last month. And turning now to our Shalom TV programming for Wednesday, September the 3rd at 9 o'clock tonight on L'chaim, Mark Golub sits down with World War II veteran and Israeli activist William Langfan, and then at 10 o'clock, Executive Vice Chairman of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Malcolm Hoenlein, talks about the challenges facing American Jewry today. That's tonight here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.